into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Oh, good morning.
Just like that, we are live and we are back with you, and we couldn't be more excited about that fact. Very good morning. My name is Graham Richards.
And I'm Zoe Brown, and today we are in for a treat because I think this is where all the diets will go on a pause.
It's a hiatus. We're just giving them a time to chill so that you can restore yourself this morning. We are going to be wowed away by delicious desserts, and it's okay to indulge in the sweeter things in life. It really is. We've earned it. Okay, so we're going to whip up some amazing things. So we want you to whip out your notepads and head on over to expressoshow.com, where you'll find a list of all of the recipes, and then you can cook along.
It's going to be delicious. I'm just thinking, I mean, I've never had an espresso coffee and caramel Swiss roll for breakfast.
Nope, neither.
We're adding that to the list. We'll be making s'mores with chocolate dessert.
Oh, get out.
Oh, that sounds like great. How does a chocolate tart sound?
Nice.
That's on the menu for today, as well as strawberry and white chocolate blondies and a chocolate bark. That is all for breakfast today.
This is like,
we're doing so many
this
recipes.
has become like a cooking reality show all of a sudden here. It's going to be amazing. You get to cook along with us. But of course, speaking of chocolate tarts...
Caramello bears.
Two of the most devilishly good-looking human beings have just sat down right beside us. Very good morning, gentlemen.
Get your hype. Hold on, those two, eh?
I've got the caramello bear. That's the first time. Woo!
We've made it, Cole.
Yes, we have.
Caramello bears.
Made it today.
Yes.
Okay, with all that chocolate, are we going to work out today? That's
Don't
a big
worry,
thing.
we're not just working out once. We've got 2 workouts coming
Thank
at you in
goodness.
Zanzi, so don't worry, you can indulge today on all the luxurious food coming your way, because we've got 2 killer workouts inspired by firefighters that you're going to absolutely love today. So don't worry, we got you covered.
Firefighters. We have to burn all of the sugar fat from the chocolate.
I see what you did
It's going to happen. Now, the thing is, because we have Nature Boy, today is World Conservation Day, and the question is very, very simple. We'd actually like to ask you, why is looking after our planet important to you? I mean, we have such beautiful, beautiful mountains, all of which Ryle climbs. So I think the best person to ask is you. Why is it important?
I mean, there's so many reasons, the list can go on, but I think if you think about this concept for one moment, the fact that out of everything in the world, this is one thing that we all share.
Yes.
It's the planet. It's the one thing that we all can enjoy, and it's the one thing that we all have a reliance on. Without it, we are nothing. So inevitably, we all need to save our planet. And it's the one thing that we can all say our for. Now that, amongst many other reasons, is a reason for us to pay attention today. Make sure that we honor the World Conservation Day. And of course, come through with your stories. Tell us why and what the planet means to you. We want to know, Mzansi, so that we can encourage everybody around the world to make sure that this magic never stops. Yeah.
That's from your Caramello Bears. Here's news.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let's start with your national headlines. The Nelson Mandela Bay municipality in the Eastern Cape says the continuous power outages that last up to a week in some areas are due to illegal connections, cable theft and outdated infrastructure. The city says it's losing millions of rands due to vandalism. A member of the mayoral committee for engineering and infrastructure, Luxolo Namete, says they are running a campaign on infrastructure protection. He says the community needs to realize that infrastructure belongs not only to the municipality, but also to them, as it's to their advantage. And the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, has revised SA's growth forecast for 2021 down from 6% to 4%. In its World Economic Outlook report, the IMF says while there's been marginal growth in developing economies, their gains have been offset by developing and emerging markets whose prospects are marked down. It said a widening gap between developed and developing economies has become apparent. The IMF expects inflation to return to pre-pandemic ranges in most countries by next year. And moving to news abroad, 8 mosques in northern Ivory Coast, whose style is believed to have originated in the Mali Empire 7 centuries ago, have been granted UNESCO World Heritage status. The buildings are highly important testimonies of the trans-Saharan trade that continued to thrive as the region prospered. The mosques are the best conserved of 20 such edifices that remain in Ivory Coast, where hundreds existed early last century. UNESCO UNESCO says their new status means they are considered to have universal cultural value that will grant them extra protection. And staying with news abroad, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has offered NASA a $2 billion discount if it allows his Blue Origin company to build a spacecraft to take astronauts to the moon. NASA aims to place astronauts on the moon in 2024. The space agency initially planned to award 2 contracts for the construction of a spacecraft, but only one was awarded to Elon Musk's SpaceX. Blue Origin thus lost out, and Bezos has now offered to make the additional funds available to be part of the first mission to the moon since Apollo 17 in 1972. And now bringing it closer to home, siblings make giant strides in the honey business. Now 20-year-old Sana Khan and her sisters Noor, Ilham and Assam are flying the South African flag high with their unbelievable honey fynbos and have just picked up the top prize at the 2021 London International Honey Awards. The girls from Athlone in Cape Town won a platinum award for honey, which scored between 95.5% to 100%. It's also the first SA honey to bag this award. Sana, who studies psychology and politics at UCT, said they were very surprised to win, as all the big honey names from countries such as Turkey, Argentina, Algeria and Australia were there. The sisters started their luxury honey brand during the national lockdown. Their interest originated when their father, Bilal, would bring them a few jars after business trips abroad. The family has 150 hives on the West Coast and cooperates with farmers who host their hives. Sana says that Cape honeybees have thrived alongside fynbos for thousands of years, and now it appears the 4 siblings are thriving with them. Well, on that very happy note, that's where I leave your morning headlines for now. Let's take a first look at your sport.
Thank you so much. So let's start with the Olympics, obviously dominating this week. Sadly, it was a 5th place finish for decorated Olympian Chad le Clos in the men's 200-meter butterfly final at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Le Clos, who started in lane 3, clocked a time of 1 minute 54.93 seconds. It was Hungary's Krzysztof Milak who won gold in an Olympic record time of 1 minute and 51.25 seconds. Staying in the water after Tatiana Schoenmaker bagged South Africa's first medal at the Tokyo 2020 Games yesterday, Bianca Buitendag added a second after she claimed a silver medal in the women's surfing final. The 27-year-old from Victoria Bay, who surfed in her final competitive event, finished behind USA's Carissa Moore, who walked away with that Olympic gold. Then the Springboks Sevens team have booked their spot in the 5th place playoff against the USA after a narrow 22-19 win over Australia in the Rugby Sevens tournament at the Tokyo Stadium this morning. Yesterday, the Blitzboks failed to reach that semi-final after losing out to a very spirited Argentinian outfit. New Zealand beat Great Britain 29-7, and defending champions Fiji saw off Argentina 26-14 to reach the Rugby Sevens final. The New Zealand and Fiji final will go off in the gold medal match at 11 a.m. this morning. Should be spectacular. That 5th place playoff between South Africa and the USA will kick off at 2 minutes to 10 in the morning today. Then on to international rugby. Springbok head coach Jacques Nienaber has made 3 changes to his starting team and 6 changes in total to the matchday squad. That's for their 2nd test against the British and Irish Lions. So there are 2 changes to the front row. Bongi Mbonambi and is going to be joined by Frans Malherbe and Steven Kitsoff in the starting lineup. Now, he incidentally will be celebrating his 50th test cap for South Africa in the match. Then Jasper Visser replaces Kwagga Smith at number 8 in the crucial clash at Cape Town Stadium from 6 p.m. on Saturday. A must-win for the Boks. Then staying on that note, British and Irish Lions head coach Warren Gatland has also made some changes, 3 in fact, to his starting 11 for the 2nd test against the Springboks in Cape Town on Saturday. The Lions, of course, took a 1-0 lead in that 3-test series after beating the Boks 22-17 in the series opener. Scrum half Conor Murray, centre Chris Harris and prop Marco Vunipola, they come into the side for that 2nd test. Then Alan Wynne-Jones, he's been named captain once again and will celebrate his 11th successive Lions test cap, a record indeed. Well, that's where we leave our sporting headlines for this hour. Let's get a scope on our global weather and see what the temperatures, probably freezing, have in store for us today.
Thanks a lot, G. You know, weather's so weird all over the world, and I'm going to start you off in the historic Chinese city of Dunhuang. It was engulfed by an enormous wall of sand on Sunday. A video shows the ancient Silk Road city vanishing in the 100-meter-high wall of sand that blew in from the Gobi Desert. The apocalyptic scene shows high-rise buildings disappear from view as the enormous clouds of dusty slowly moves into the city. The police were forced to shut down major roads as visibility plummeted to less than 7 meters. Now, tourists who had traveled to the Crescent Lake Nature Park in Dunhuang to watch the sunset among the sand dunes at the picturesque beauty spot were forced to huddle together and wear glasses and masks to protect themselves from the sand. Dunhuang is home to the Mogwao Caves, also known as the Thousand Buddha Grottos, a temple complex and UNESCO World Heritage Site. I did tell you the weather was weird. Now, remaining in Asia for our featured city in this bulletin as we head to the region of Tibet. Now, Tibet is a region in the East Asia area covering much of the Tibetan plateau, spanning about 2.5 million kilometers squared. It is also the highest region on Earth with an elevation of around 4.380 meters. In fact, it is even located in the Himalayas with its highest point of elevation being Earth's highest mountain, namely Mount Everest. Tibet has been called the water tower of Asia, and China is investing heavily in water projects in Tibet due to several major rivers having their sources in the Tibetan plateau. One last interesting fact is how Tibetans have actually genetically evolved to live at high altitudes. So while normal folk like us may experience altitude sickness when visiting the region, you're unlikely to see a Sherpa suffering in the same way. And what does this mean? Well, they exhale more nitric oxide compared to people living at sea level. In layman's terms, this helps the blood to flow, which in turn keeps the heart working at a normal pace. Any viewers that may be in the Lhasa in Tibetan area, I should say, can expect a cloudy day ahead, and you got a maximum temperature of around 22 degrees Celsius, so do enjoy your day. Now, we have reported on some extreme climate and weather conditions being experienced worldwide, which has included flooding and wildfires and extreme temperatures. But a friend of the show and regular contributor on YouTube, Patrice Boyer from Jura-Lons-la-Saunière in France, shared this photo of flooding occurring in his area due to the heavy rains experienced recently. We hope you are staying safe and dry, Patrice. Thanks for sharing. And then Ridwan Hassan reached out to us a few times over the last 2 months, sharing pictures of his journey to the UAE. And this photo shared, it is showing his first experience of rain at sunrise in the UAE, saying there wasn't much rain, which makes sense for the region's hot desert climate. Thank you to these two viewers for sharing these specific updates with us, and a big thank you to all of our viewers who interact and share photos with us on the Expresso Facebook page. We love seeing how you start your day. Let's find out how that will happen temperature-wise. Let's go across South Africa, and starting off in Polokwane, your temperatures are as follows: 5 to 19 in that particular area. Bombela, good morning to you. Your temperatures are looking good, 9 to 26. Pretoria, 3 to 19. Johannesburg, 4 to 16 today. Mahikeng, 2 is your low to a maximum of 20 degrees Celsius. Snap for Klerksdorp, also 20 degrees Celsius as a maximum from a low of 1. Kimberley, 3 to 20. Bloemfontein, -2, very chilly. You rise to 18. Richards Bay this morning, 11. This afternoon, 25. 6 to 25 in Pietermaritzburg. 13 to 23 in Durban. Mthatha, your low is 4. You jump up to 23. East London, 12 to 20. Cradock, 3 to 23 today. Gqeberha, 9 to 17. George, you can expect 8. That's up to around 14 with a 25% chance of rain in your area. Cape Town, 12 to 16. A 14% chance of precipitation. Worcester looks like there could be rain, a 53% chance, 4 to 14. Sutherland, 1 to 10. And then Uppington wrapping with you, 4 to 24 degrees Celsius. That's a wrap-up of the strange weather conditions globally, as well as your weather temperatures. And if you have any sunrise photos, please send it our way. The Expresso Facebook page is the place to be.
Well, I'm very excited about this campaign because we can help Cadbury Dairy Milk reach their goal by co-authoring 1,500 books by, generously translating words from English into our home languages. Now, Nalibali, a reading program for enjoyment, that with a team of young local authors, they are standing by to weave all of these words translated into exciting new stories that will be made available for parents and children to download and enjoy.
It's all about allowing children to be able to connect connect with, identify with the characters in these stories, but it's also about inspiring the imagination. So the words that have been selected are awesome, and today's word is really, really cool. This could be at the heart of like any cool kid story. So we want you to play a little bit of, play along with us, have a little bit of fun by translating your own word to help co-author, as we said, this entire library of children's books, hashtag in our own words. And this morning's word is giant.
Oh,
That's a goodie.
That's a goodie.
I think of like Jack and the Beanstalk. And some of
Exactly.
those
I've been reading the
classics.
BFG.
Oh, that's Roald Dahl, right? Oh, those were absolute
Charles
classics.
So this week, we've actually been focusing on Sepedi, and the word giant in Sepedi is Lechema.
Lechema.
Lechema, all right.
And
I'm just thinking
You've
of...
got to say like Lechema.
Yeah, just picturing of the Lechema walked in with all its might and all its force.
in Afrikaans, it would be reus.
A reus.
Reus.
Is that a giant in Afrikaans? A reus.
Yes, that's also quite onomatopoeic, eh? It feels big.
Yeah.
I feel like I could be in a book, Ryle the Reus, through the town.
No, buddy. Well, okay, I suppose it depends who you're sitting next to on this set.
Oh, look, guys, you, of course, can join in on the fun and help us ensure that all our children can enjoy enchanting African language tales in their own language. Now, you can visit cadbury.co.za and at Cadbury Dairy Milk SA, or on Facebook, as well as Twitter, which is Cadbury_SA, and Instagram. And you can start sharing your own words and help us conclude this incredible cause where we are just inspiring, creating memories, and allowing the imagination of children to just run wild.
It is me, Lechema.
Oh, you can make my day.
Okay, you're not getting anything on 5 minutes?
Fake hearts won't find the kind of love I will find in time, in time. Fake minds won't find you. Fake minds won't find. Fake hearts won't find the kind of love I will find in time, in time. In time, in time, in time. Won't find the kind of beauty inside.
Better recognize. How are you, Graham? Let's do undefined. Because that's like the low one. Yeah. He's gonna run tracks for me, no? Okay.
Brown girl rising, pressure in the siding, through with hiding. Which box could I thrive? I've been there token, I've been broken, still finding my missing piece. Been called baby, been a lady, still can take speech. Underpaid, overlooked, overworked, underbooked. Say I had it all and y'all made me fall, and that got me weak. I've been talking to myself, trying to find a way to win. But how the you gon' do that if you ain't right within? I've been moving round in circles, spreading love and energy. And by now you would have thought that all of that got back to me. Call me undefined. Say I'm out of my mind. I'll stay on my grind. 'Cause I know just what I'm gonna find. I'll stay undefined. Watch me, you watch mine. Even with the shine.
strong, know that I'm up on my grind. Yeah, it starts and it ends with me. Brown girl, hate it. Yeah, often imitated. Freedom debated. Cause he's intimidated. I know my worth since birth. Ain't never been Miss Thursday. Unappreciated. You should know how much I hate it.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, beautiful souls. We are live right here opening up on S3, and we're talking about the most important thing today. It's World Conservation Day and highlighting everything that involves it. And today, we've got a cool story to share with you now. It's a robot on a mining ship in space which starts to run out of battery and then descends on a planet to harvest a source of energy. Yeah.
Now, he doesn't realize the damaging impact of his actions until he meets an adorable inhabitant of the new environment. And this is the awesome story depicted in the animated short film Hello World, created by third-year students from the animation school in 2018. Let's take a look. Oh my goodness, how adorable is that?
So cute.
So cute, and I think it's so important to teach our children from a young age. It's so important to protect nature, but it's also okay to interact with it through play.
So true. Now, speaking of play, we've got kinderkineticist Catherine Lacey, who is on standby, and we're going to find out so much more about the environment and kids' play. Let's check it out.
Indeed. So our lives are inextricably linked to nature. But nowadays, it's pretty easy to find ourselves and our children, most importantly, more linked to tech, to devices, to screens. Well, this morning, kinderkineticist Catherine Lacey is going to connect with us to talk about the importance of our connection to nature and how important it is to just let the kids get outside
Thank
and
goodness.
play. Catherine, very good morning. How are you?
Morning, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Ah, very good, very good.
This is such an important question, as you know, because technology is essentially the future of our kids. However, there's got to be some balance, and this is where we're going with it. So you have your own kinderkinetics practice. Now, from what you see, are our kids actually well connected with nature? I know it sounds like a silly question, because I think I know the answer to it, but let's go to it anyway.
Yeah, of course, it's a question that most people, I think, would know the answer to. But from what I've seen in my experience, there's definitely a decline towards kids being outside, being connected with nature, actually going into the garden and playing versus screen time. So, but if you look at it from a theoretical sense, yes, because there's so much technology available. There's multiple apps. You can Google anything you want. You know, you can go on virtual safaris these days. So from that side, yes, they understand nature, but they're definitely lacking that physical, real interaction with nature and actually being outside, experiencing it for themselves.
I'm a firm believer that we're going to see and are seeing a pushback, thankfully, like in many areas of kind of our growth at the moment. We are a lot more conscientious, and especially with so much focus on the environment, I think more people are connecting. But, you know, the dangers of not being connected to nature are so prevalent. In fact, it's been labeled as nature deficit disorder. What are the implications of this nature deficit disorder on our kids if they aren't getting that nature time?
Yeah, so first it's important to understand what the disorder is. It's basically just described, you know, a decline in children being outside and actually spending time in nature. But it's also not something that medical professionals have classified. So you won't find it as an official diagnosis if you look at things like the DSM-5 or the ICD-10, but it is something, it's definitely a term that is being used and being researched just because of how children are interacting or not interacting with nature today. So, I mean, nature provides so much space for exploration, curiosity, imagination. I mean, when you're outside, you know, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
So for children to not have this, we're going to start seeing multiple things coming out of this, and children who maybe lack coordination, lack some balance, maybe their exploration and curiosity is not quite up there because they're used to being indoors. So many things that can come from this.
I mean, with the experts that we've spoken to, we've even heard about, you know, links to immune deficiency, lack of vitamin D. So there is a physical manifestation. We need nature. That's where we come from. Yeah.
But I think it's important to note the socioeconomics. I mean, you can't exactly just let your child run outside.
Yeah.
You know, there are a lot of things, barriers to that, given the safety concerns in a country like South Africa, which is quite important. In fact, I've got a little anecdote for you. One of my friend's kids, the kid was so smart because he said, go play outside. So the kid took his tablet outside and went to go and play outside. So I think the big question is, I mean, how do we encourage our kids to spend more time outdoors, given the socioeconomics and also how smart they are at times? I mean, are there some tips and tricks that we can use to get them out there?
Yeah, I mean, it's so difficult today, and kids, like you said, they're so clever. You tell them to go outside, they take their tablet with them, or they try and kind of bargain with you, as in, if I spend so much time outside, then can I get so much time inside on my tablet, for example. But I think it's important to try and work it into your child's schedule. That's probably the easiest way. You know, children are so busy today. They have multiple extramurals, they have this that they need to go to, they have homework that they need to do. So just trying to work it into their schedules. And also just being outdoors with them. So I feel like that's an important thing that some people miss, is they send their kids outside, but they don't go with them, and then their kids kind of feel like, well, if I have to do it, why don't you have to do it? So another thing that you could do is try and bring indoor activities to actually take them outside. So instead of, for example, coloring at the table, you give them chalk and you take them outside to color on the pavement. I mean, it's not going to cause a mess. It washes away super quickly, but they're still outdoors experiencing something.
And then your neighbors get to enjoy
Yes.
it as well with you. Now, I'll tell you, I speak from experience
Yeah.
with a very, very busy 4-year-old son. The only time that he has ever been still in his life is in a forest. Let him guide the process. Let him kind of just get surrounded by that green. But it's amazing to me how, and of course, you then have the opportunity to be still with him. And man, don't we need that as well. Catherine, stick around. We've got more questions to fire away. And of course, we're going to delve a little deeper into the benefits of getting our kids and ourselves outdoors. And of course, we are celebrating all that is amazing about our wonderful natural world today.
Oh, you can make my day.
Becoming a parent fills you with delight, nerves, and questions. Now, an original South African app has the answers. Whether you're expecting your bundle of joy or raising a preschooler, the Purity Journey Journal app is a breeze to use. Sign up for free and choose from a host of features, including 24/7 medical assistance, expert tips, and milestone tracker. Sign up to the Purity Journey Journal app for whenever you need some guidance along your parenting journey.
A promise to the planet to be gentle and treat nature with kindness. So there's always trees to climb, to plant the seeds for a better future. Woolworths, the difference.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It's your Feel-Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso and S3, and the youth will set you free, provided they get some time outdoors. Now, earlier in the show, we connected with kinderkineticist Catherine Lacey to talk about the importance of our kids playing outside and connecting with nature, and we're continuing that very important conversation now. We've covered some very important territory around sort of ideas as to how to get them outside, but I think now it's good to start with the benefits of kids actually playing outside. I mean, you were mentioning that you and Jack get some proper time in the forest just enjoying.
Yeah, and it's our time, but it's that stillness that you get in that space. So, Catherine, what are the most dominant benefits for getting our little ones out into nature?
Yeah, so definitely, as you mentioned, the stillness, being outdoors, you know, it increases self-esteem and resilience to things like stress and anxiety, which is something, of course, you guys spoke about yesterday, how important it is to relax yourself when you're stressed. And as you mentioned, being in nature really does this for you. I know even as adults, just being outside, going for a hike, going for a walk in the forest, completely can calm you down. But from a kinetics point of view, the gross motor development that comes from being outside is, you know, it's incredible. They are running, they're walking, they're rolling down hills, they're exploring, they're climbing over trees, they're going in stuff, out stuff. There's so many things that can come from that. And of course, there's other things like, you know, it improves concentration and cognitive development and learning. It naturally, very important is that it also naturally encourages children to be active. When children are active, it decreases the risk of childhood obesity. So there's that added benefit as well.
It's tactile and it's fun.
It is. It's super fun.
Endless fun.
Because I think that when the discovery is shared, I think that's especially if you're walking through a forest or discovering some new terrain, it's so important to do that. The big sort of issue, I think, for many kids is the fact that we've just been through a lockdown.
Yeah.
And we've been telling, you know, them it's fine, we're staying indoors. And now we're trying to get them outdoors. So there's a bit of sort of an irony there with regard to this conversation. So, Catherine, do you have any sort of tips as to how we can actually increase the awareness of nature in our kids just a little bit more, especially given a time where we've just told them to stay indoors, now we're telling them to go play outdoors?
Yeah, it's funny to think about how we tried to keep them inside for so long and now we just want to get them outdoors. But as I always say, children learn more from what you do versus what you tell them to do.
Yeah.
So as we said, going outside with them, being outdoors with them, maybe encouraging them by asking open-ended questions. Ask them, oh, where did you find that? Where did that come from? So get their creativity going, get them asking the questions. Another thing is also to give them opportunities to explore. So you can maybe give them a shovel or, you know, you can even give them a spoon from your garden, which they can use to dig up the ground and maybe find something new. So there's lots of ways to get them outside. And like I said, working it into their schedule is probably one of the easiest ways to try and do that.
Make it structured. There's also something about, if I think of my own path, going to boarding school, which was very outdoor orientated, bravery, your courage, your character. You have to be a lot more brave when you're out there experiencing and having adventures. But we have spoken so many times on the show about the importance when it comes to early childhood development, the relationship with play. How is it more beneficial to play outside for them? Surely it's like a blank canvas out there.
It is.
Yeah, as you mentioned, you know, when a child's outside, there's just endless possibilities for what they can do. I've had children give me a rock as a present, but they've told me some elaborate story of how they found it. So, I mean, that imagination and curiosity is just, it's amazing to see. And play is the work of the child. That's what we always say, you know, that's how they learn, that's everything that they know. But I wouldn't say that it's, you know, they have to be outside 24/7 to get those benefits. But definitely incorporating it every single day into their routine is quite important. But you don't have to make it the be all and end all of the day. There are benefits to inside play versus outside play. They do learn different things. But as I said, definitely try and do it at least during the day, minimum 1 hour outside. Really get them moving and get them in different environments. Take them to the forest, take them to the beach, take them for a walk on the promenade. You know, there's different things to learn at each place.
It's the forest for me.
You know what? And I think it's also great because you spoke about imagination, getting a rock as a gift. I mean, have you ever had like a mud pie as a gift? I mean, that was the best thing ever. And it was about the imagination. So, Catherine, thank you so much for sharing what is such an important thing and pertinent thing for many parents who are now struggling with technology, putting the kids away, and also engaging on a day like this, World Conservation Day, to look after our sort of natural habitat, but also make that a platform to raise our kids. I think that's the power of a day like today.
So thanks so much, Catherine.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it stands to reason, feeding off what you've just said. How do you expect this next generation to care about nature if they have no connection to it? So get out there in this digital age. Let us not lose sight of the importance of connecting with Mother Nature and, of course, reaping the many benefits that come with doing just that.
And speaking of children and the youth, I think words that I grew up with is to affect the nation is to change the generation. So by investing in our youth, they really have the opportunities to, you know, take a look at some of the challenges facing our society today.
Oh, I absolutely love that. Now, with creating high-quality play-based ECD equipment, of course, for lots of impoverished areas and for children, this is essential, and this is what Cotlands is all about. Let's check it out.
Has a beautiful, rich history, and we've been serving children for the past 85 years. And throughout the many decades of serving children, we've had to change and alter the programs that we offer the young children of South Africa. And deep roots in working with abandoned children, then the HIV/AIDS pandemic, we were quite instrumental during those years in bringing ARV treatment to young children. And over the last 10, 11 years, we've pivoted our work to be focusing on early childhood development and solving the problems of lack of early childhood development in the country. So in our programs, we're very passionate about making sure that children are given more than enough time to play, to socially interact. It's not about sitting still and completing worksheets. It's all about the social interaction, the physical movement, and that we also help build children's emotional well-being, build their self-esteem, build their confidence with the large variety of activities we do.
The children learn a lot from me as a teacher. First thing in the morning when they arrive, we greet them by names. By doing so to the children, they become very happy because they are not used to that maybe at homes. So even here we have different toys that we gave children that we get from a toy library that develop them holistic. I love children, and I'm also taking a good care of children.
Cotlands and Purity have been together as partners for quite a long time, and it's been wonderful to have them on board. When I was approached about this wonderful opportunity where we could get funding for every Purity baby product that gets sold, I jumped at the opportunity. It was very exciting for me. Which better way to give back is by buying a product, and that way I can get money and I can do our great work that we do in our communities around South Africa.
Children who have access to early childhood development are more likely to be successful, to finish their schooling, less likely to participate in crime, more likely to hold and create jobs. If the foundations of the pre-literacy, the pre-mathematics have been laid, these children tend to do really well with the academic demands of schooling. So we really want to see children thrive in their formative years, and we do that through play-based learning. We also are very passionate about partnerships with people who invest in our work, and so we do a number of projects where people identify communities, they bring the resources, and we help them set up toy libraries, early learning playgroups and so on in those respective communities. So ultimately we create access through these non-center based programs.
Can you think of a better way to just learn. I mean, that is so awesome. And Cotlands wants to give back to the community, and the best way to do that is through you.
That's right. And did you know that every time you buy a Purity baby product, proceeds go to Cotlands to help them continue their incredible work. Now, this amazing partnership is truly making sure that they are there every single step of the way. So absolutely incredible work.
Indeed.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Cabin fever has hit an all-time high, so it's time to turn up the fun by creating an indoor obstacle course that even a ninja warrior would envy. With so many birthdays happening during lockdown, any kid would love an obstacle course-themed party at home. And what better way to celebrate the Crazy Store's 24th birthday this year than by showing you how to create a party obstacle course using some of their awesome birthday promotion to demonstrate just how much fun you can really have with the right items and a little bit of creativity. Today, we have a challenge. We have sensational presenters going head-to-head. We're talking about Thabiso, who are going against Jamie Lee, both of which have the most incredible talents. Thabiso, good looks. Jamie Lee, good looks and the splits. Who will win? We'll find out soon enough. So we have to crown the ultimate birthday bash obstacle course winner this morning, and this is how it's going down. So we got these crazy things in the Crazy Store to do. First thing I want you guys to do is do a skipping challenge. It's going to take some endurance, some skill,
all right,
but I know you can do this.
Simple enough.
What you'll do is you go to your points.
Okay.
You will then sprint across, right? Yes, you'll sprint.
Okay.
To the skipping ropes.
Oh.
Once you get to the skipping ropes, I want you to skip all the way back. When you return here, we've got a target practice for you guys to do, but first, let's get to your positions.
Okay.
While I play with my remote control cast, because I don't want to be out of the action here.
Sprint, you said, hey?
There we go.
Okay.
All right.
Are we competing with the car?
No. I was thinking about it, but this is just, I love this car.
No,
actually, this is nothing to do with it. This is just me playing around. I'm sorry.
This
is just really, I have to. Okay, this is what happens.
Okay, cool.
When the car comes past you, you guys go. All right. So, 3. Don't step in my car, please. I love this car. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
In 3, 2, 1, go! Knew it! Fantastic stuff as I go around. Jamie Lee looking very good. Thabiso Magabela with a skipping action over there. Look at that as we go over to our next round. This is the target round. Stand over here and shoot the targets off for a chance to get on to the next round. You guys ready? Okay. She's going. She's trigger happy. I like it. Go, go, go! All right. Remember, you have to go and grab your bullets as you go along. Good luck to both of you. Look at this. By the way, the side action over there. What movies have you been watching?
I don't know.
The chat to JP.
JP Sebastian.
This S3 Entertainment has got to you here. Almost there. No targets down yet as we wait. All right, grab your bullets, keep on going. I like how you are longer, so you actually can bend all the way forward and go for it. This is good. Ready? Here we go. Second one down. Let's go, let's go. Thabiso's got it. Does he have it? He's got it. Here we go. He moves on to the next round. Go, go. To the lounge area. Now you'll see babies. Put them carefully. It's a baby.
Hello,
carefully.
Hond.
Now you need to blow bubbles at the same time. Spill the tea. I know both of you love doing that. I've seen your social media profiles. Let's go. You ready? Blow the bubble. I want to see bubbles. I want to see bubbles, please. Bubbles. Okay, that's not a bubble. That's more of a... Pour the tea and the bubbles. Come on. And then make sure you pour the tea into all the cups. But while blowing the bubbles, keep on blowing the bubbles. Now the babies need to come through slowly. Slowly, slowly, slowly. That just slower. Tabiso, that is not Vin Diesel's child.
Got this.
Come on, brother. That's slow.
I got this.
Right, next challenge is a bit of multitasking. Grab your hula hoops, please.
Okay.
They would need to be spinning on one arm like this while you knock in the shapes.
Okay.
First person to knock in their shapes while spinning the hula hoop is going to be our winner today. You guys ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, final round. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Get spinning and knocking. Go, go, go. That's not going to happen. Jamie Lee still got first thing on the podium. Keep on spinning if you want to be a winner. So much power coming from Tabiso. Jamie Lee still knocking in. Keep on spinning and knocking.
I'm done. I'm done.
Oh, Tabiso! Makuvera!
But he's found.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! There is another pipe and the hula going. Okay, spin, Jamie, spin. Let's go. And the winner is Jamie Lee. Congratulations to both of you. I'm so sorry you lost a couple of shapes there, but now at least you got into shape with that crazy Store 24th birthday challenge.
Yes.
That was wonderful. I know that this is an emotional moment for you. Would you just like to chat to your fans about your win today?
I just, it was a lot of hard work that went into this. Being the best isn't always easy, but thank you so much to my competitor over here that, gave me a run for my money. But yeah, it's been great. That's all I have to say, Carl.
That's fine. Tissues in, please. Goodness. I know it's a very, very tough thing to be a loser, but you're not like that because you had fun. And that's all it's about. It's about fun, remember?
Indeed.
Don't forget, well done, Jamie Lee. All the glory to you.
Whoa.
Can I just tell you that any birthday is definitely worth having, especially if you visit your nearest Crazy Store, where you can find all these amazing products we've used this morning and more. So what are you waiting for? Duck in today. But let's be honest, it wouldn't be a birthday celebration without a little gift. So tell us, what gift is on your birthday wish list from the Crazy Store to stand the chance to win a 500 Rand voucher this week? Remember to include the hashtag #TheCrazyStoreBirthday to enter. T's and C's found on ExpressoShow.com, and the competition runs till Friday, 30 July 2021, midnight. Good luck to you, and happy birthday to the Crazy Store.
Got something for you.
Hey,
Got something for you.
What's that? See, that's why you lost.
Whoever you are, whatever you need, you'll find great value for the whole family at the Crazy Store. So duck into a store near you and be surprised.
What a way to celebrate. Now, every birthday should be celebrated with something delicious, but you can't have coffee without delicious cake, right? So today, we're combining the two and making a mouth-watering coffee and caramel Swiss roll. And here to show us how is Chef Tumi Chumi in the building. How you doing, Tumi?
I am great, right?
I only get to see you on the TV, and now I'm here in real life. This is an honor. It's the first time working in the kitchen, I think.
Only a pleasure.
Yes.
I mean, how's about mixing your coffee with your food instead of just drinking?
We're being naughty today, and I'm here for it because we've got 2 workouts later, so bring it on.
Let
How we
us
doing
do
this?
it. To start with the Swiss roll, you have to have the Swiss roll base, which is the cake. So to
yes.
start off with that, we've got some eggs that I've already started whipping. Into this, we're going in with our baking powder and flour. But I'm going to first mix the 2 dry ingredients together. And all we need to do is just mix these together. Make sure it's nice and airy and fluffy. That's what makes the Swiss roll the Swiss roll. That layer of fluffiness, those bubbles on the inside, right?
That's the crux of it, and that's what turns it into, well, from being a pancake, I believe, into something that is actually a Swiss roll. And that's where I'm paying attention. How do you actually get that fluffiness and that airiness in it? Is it this technique right here?
Correct. So it's making sure you're working as much air into your egg mixture, right? In this mixture here, it's literally just eggs. We've mixed in some of our sugar as well, making sure the sugar gets dissolved, and then we add our dry ingredients to that. As you can see, I've got this mixer over here, this blender. You know when you're working with stuff like this, you need to be extra careful. So I'm going to put you on coffee duty.
All right.
Just make sure you get that done. We need our coffee. We've got some caramel and some cream. We're going to mix all those together, and that's going to be the filling.
Beautiful stuff. Now, before you make too much noise, let me just tell Mzansi that I'm the specialist here, so I think we've partnered up perfectly. I'm going to be making a Tokyo Vivalto Lungao. Now, it's 100% Arabica blend with high-quality African beans, and it's 110 ml, so it's going to go a little bit further. So let me get onto that while you get onto the rest of your stuff. Make sure the machine's on. Step one.
That'll be the first step, yes, correct.
Step one, wait till the buttons are done. That's going to just warm up the water. But I love the fact that there's this mild sweetness to this as well. So it's not as bitter as you'd expect from a lot of coffees, and that's why I think it's going to pair so perfectly with a dessert like this. Looks like Lungo is ready to go.
Perfect.
We can make some noise over here on that side. And while all this is going on, I'm going to mix the caramel and the cream together just to save some time, right?
Yes.
Should we do that?
Please do that. Please mix it up for us.
Oh, yeah. All right, so lots of caramel here, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, don't worry. Like we said in Mzansi, we got you covered. You can enjoy your birthday, indulge as much as you want, because we've got 2 fitness segments coming up on the show as well. So we're going to burn all the cows off anyway.
Okay, I think you might have sabotaged me here because I'm trying my best.
What do you mean? Are you sure it's plugged in properly? Are we all good there? Let me check it out.
There we go.
Saves the day. You see, to me, this is why we paired in the kitchen. We're the perfect combination.
That's why they've got you on the text and they've got me on the manual stuff. You know what I mean?
I'm going to be the new Grant Hines for the day. Don't worry. All your tech issues, I got you covered, people.
Awesome stuff.
So, just with regards to this mixture over here, I know how to mix, but I don't know what I'm looking for exactly. Is this good?
That is good. The whole idea is you want to make sure it's fully incorporated. But I also do like seeing those streaks of caramel every now and then.
It's like character, eh?
Yes, that marbling effect that's on there. So if you'd like to, you can leave it like that.
All right.
This, in essence, is all we want. We want a nice, fluffy mixture. You don't even have to worry about pulling it to the edges, because as it cooks, it's going to spread out. But you can just...
What do you mean pulling it to the edges?
Making sure it fills up the whole tray, because it's going to fluff.
Chef terms, excuse me.
But I do like to make sure, at least, you know, if you're afraid, if you do want to make sure it goes all the way, do not butter the sides, because you want it to creep up those edges.
I see you.
So if you don't butter the sides, then you are going to risk not having it fill up that tray.
So all we coming through with the tips here, people, on your morning edition. We're live right here. So that's going in the oven, right?
Going in the oven for 10 minutes at 180 degrees, and voila!
Voila,
magic.
fast forwarding to time, and let me just roll through on the progress that would come from that. Let me check that out. Oh, look at that puff. Look at that feel, and I see we've got some sugar in there already. Yeah. That cakiness is just, just breaking up, and I think that is how you do a Swiss roll. So what's next?
Fill it up, Papa. Tuck and roll.
All right, tuck and roll, all right. So I have been known to be one of the best rollers in the land, so let me see if I can put my proof into the pudding or the cake here.
So all you need
strategies, just go for it.
Look, I feel the one thing when you have to do in the kitchen is to have fun, right? Tuck and roll. If it oozes out on the edges, that gives you an excuse to cut off the edges and that, you know. But
even
other than that, just fill it up, put it in the fridge. I'd like to set it at least about
I've broken a little bit of my Swiss roll, but that shouldn't matter. I'm making this like a proper saucy dog.
You did that on purpose because you wanted to get yourself a portion before the rest. Okay, fine.
Give my secrets away.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
All right, so it looks like I think I've got that roll there. Let me just put that in front of the camera so everyone can see. Da, da, da.
Not bad.
And I think you should actually get that ooze there. It's just that extra umami, that extra goodness.
Look at you.
And that's how you do a dessert, right?
I'm a chef here, right?
Maybe yes. Now, of course, guys, to get your hands on this delicious recipe, you can visit the expressoshow.com, and I'm going to get tucking into this. Nice
You
stuff.
did add the coffee into the caramel mixture, right?
Yes, I did. Was I supposed to do the whole cup, though?
Well, as long as you added the coffee, because it's a coffee and
I should have added way more into this, though. So, guys, pick up on this, add more coffee, add all of the coffee, and add all the lunga, and get all the fruity flavors into that one, and you're going to have your beautiful Swiss roll right there. Nice stuff.
Welcome back. We're
Sorry,
having a
I'm
lot
in
of
the
fun
mood.
today.
Yeah.
We've connected with nature and
Yes.
we're trying to do it on the deepest possible level. And we put it to you guys, how do we do that? How do we foster on hashtag World Nature Conservation
Good-looking guy.
Day? He is, man. How do we make that connection? And looking at our planet, what is important to you? Why is it so important to you, this beautiful blue planet that we live on? Let's find out what you had to say.
All right, Johnny Graham. It is so
Yeah.
important to care for our planet. God cares and gives for those who cares for his creations. And he's got a nice little picture here. Dear human, if you don't destroy me, I'll give you shelter, food, water, and oxygen.
We are of the... Is that I am Groot? Hey?
Yes, that's exactly it.
Could have just said, I am Groot. I love that. No, that's beautiful. I really do love that. It's the circle of life. Danielle Struble saying, good morning, Expresso team. Very important to look after our conservation for its adds to human and animal healthy, long lifespan.
Josephine, one of the faves, environment plays an important role in healthy living and existence of life on planet Earth.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at your weather reports over the last 2 weeks, dude.
It's been crazy.
There is something going on, man. Nade saying we have to look after our planet and keep it clean at all times for a sustainable future. We have to conserve our planet by reusing, reducing, and recycling waste equipment. 100%, man.
It's important.
All the R's.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's good alliteration, but just don't litter the nation. That's what I'm saying. But look after your environment, of course, and it's World Nature Conservation Day. So if you'd like to share why it's important to look after our planet, please share on the Expresso Facebook page as we get on to news. Let's hope there's no bad climate conditions.
Thank you, Carl. Well, it's 7 o'clock. Time for us to look at your national headlines. Mango, a subsidiary of SA Airways, have confirmed that its flights have been suspended until further notice. The low-cost airline says it has cancelled its flights due to overdue payments to air traffic control. SAA Chief Executive Thomas Mokolo said efforts were being made to put the struggle airline under business rescue to prevent liquidation. Passengers of Mango will receive further information by SMS or email. And then the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality in the Eastern Cape says the continuous power outages that last up to a week in some areas are due to illegal connections, cable theft and outdated infrastructure. The city says it's losing millions of rands due to vandalism. A member of the mayoral committee for engineering and infrastructure, Luxolo Nomete, says they are running a campaign on infrastructure protection. He says the community needs to realize that infrastructure belongs not only to the municipality but also to them, as it's to their advantage. Moving to news abroad, electronic cigarettes and similar devices are dangerous to health and must be regulated to curb the tobacco industry's tactics to get young people hooked on nicotine, the World Health Organization, that's the WHO, warned yesterday. The WHO chief, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, says electronic nicotine delivery systems, popularly known as ENDS, are harmful and should be tightly regulated for maximum public health protection. Its 8th tobacco report found that 32 countries had banned the sale of ENDS and 79 has adopted at least partial measures. And then staying with news abroad, 8 mosques in the northern Ivory Coast, of which the style is believed to have originated in the Mali Empire 7 centuries ago, have been granted UNESCO World Heritage status. The buildings are major testimonies to the trans-Saharan trade that continues to thrive as the region prospered. The mosques are the best conserved of 20 such efficacies that remain in Ivory Coast, where hundreds existed early last century. UNESCO says their new status means they are considered to have universal cultural value that will grant them extra protection. And next, news of the World of Travel Awards and Africa's top tourist attractions. After winning in 2020, Table Mountain has once again been nominated as Africa's leading tourist attraction at the 2021 World Travel Awards, and the Cableway Company says they're also aiming to see Cape Town's iconic centerpiece named the world's leading tourist attraction. Giselle Esau, Table Mountain Marketing and Branding Manager, stressed that they also wish to take home the world's leading attraction award. South Africans can register to cast their vote on the World Travel Awards website and vote for Table Mountain. Isa also urged verified members of the SA travel industry to vote for Cape Town's iconic mountain, saying that their voices actually count double. The V&A Waterfront in Cape Town and the Kruger National Park also received the nod for a nomination as Africa's leading tourist attraction. Well, on that note, that's where I leave your morning headlines. Let's take another look at your sport.
Thanks so much, Zoe. Let's start with the Olympics, and unfortunately having to temper our expectations. It was a 5th place finish for decorated Olympian Chad le Clos in the men's 200-meter butterfly final at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Le Clos, who started in lane 3, clocked a time of 1 minute 54.93 seconds, but ultimately it was Hungary's Krzysztof Milak who won gold in an Olympic record time of 1 minute and 51.25 seconds. Then staying in the water after Tatjana Schoenmaker bagged South Africa's first medal at the Tokyo 2020 Games yesterday, Bianca Buitendach added a second after she claimed the silver medal in the women's surfing final. The 27-year-old from Victoria Bay, who surfed in her final competitive event, finished behind USA's Carissa Moore, who walked away with that eventual gold medal. And staying at the Olympics, the Springbok Sevens team booked their spot in the 5th place playoff against the USA, and that was after a narrow 22-19 win over old foes Australia in the Rugby Sevens tournament at the Tokyo Stadium early this morning. So yesterday, the Blitzboks failed to reach the semi-finals after losing out to a very spirited Argentina. New Zealand, they beat Great Britain 29-7, and then defending champions Fiji saw off Argentina 26-14 to reach the Rugby Sevens final. New Zealand and Fiji will go head-to-head in that gold medal match at 11 a.m. this morning. And the 5th place playoff between South Africa and the USA will kick off at 2 minutes to 10 a.m. this morning. Then on to rugby news. Springbok head coach Jacques Nienaber has made 3 changes to his starting lineup and 6 changes in total to the matchday squad. That's for their 2nd test against the British and Irish Lions. So there are 2 changes to the front row. Bongi Mbonambi will be joined by Frans Malherbe and Stephen Kitsoff, who also incidentally will be celebrating his 50th test cap for South Africa. And then Jasper Visser replaces Kwagga Smith at number 8 in that crucial clash at Cape Town Stadium, and it kicks off at 6 p.m. on Saturday. Then the other side of that coin, British and Irish Lions head coach Warren Gatland has also made 3 changes to his starting 11 for the 2nd test against the Boks in Cape Town on Saturday. The Lions, of course, took that 1-0 lead in the 3-test series after beating the Springboks 22-17 in the series opener. Scrum half Connor Murray, centre Chris Harris, and prop Mako Vinipola, they come into the side for the 2nd test. And then Alan Wynne-Jones, he's been named as captain once again and will make more history once again as he celebrates his 11th successive Lions test cap. We'll touch on those headlines in about an hour or so. Right now, let's see what the weather has in store.
And before we get into your temperatures, let's bring you some environmental updates. The US, it's called a beltway in UK and Europe, a road ring, but in Madrid, Spain, it will be called a greenway. This as the Spanish capital aims to combat the city's island of heat by encircling themselves with a sea of green. The urban forest project will involve planting nearly 500,000 trees around the city. When matured, these trees should absorb some 175,000 tons of CO2 per year. The trees will require little water or specialized soil conditions. Madrid's councillor for the Environment and Urban Development, Mariano Fontes, says the aim is to improve the air quality in the entire city, to combat the heat island effect that is occurring inside the city, to absorb the greenhouse emissions generated by the city, and to connect all the existing forest masses that are already around the city. And we remain in Spain as we bring out a little more about this inspiring city and their green plans. Madrid is the capital and most populous city of Spain. I also know it's one of Carl's favorite places. Now, Madrid is also the political, economic and cultural center of the country. The city is also home to 2 well-known football clubs, Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid. Landmarks and tourist attractions include the Crystal Palace at Buen Retiro Park and the Royal Palace and Gardens, known as the Spanish version of Versailles. Yellow warnings have been issued for extreme high temperatures in the area. 37 degrees Celsius is the maximum that has been forecast for the day ahead. And bringing it back to our own shores, we have some local viewers to share some of their sunrise photos. Now, for your 7 o'clock update, we head on over to East London, where Rosemary de Roubaix shared this stunning shot showing off some silhouetted trees against the pink and purple sky. East London today can expect partly cloudy conditions reaching a maximum of 20 degrees Celsius. And then heading over to Durbanville, Tanya Mostert captured another great view as the sun breaks through the cloud cover in the distance. If you're in Cape Town today, expect a brief break from the rain experienced yesterday and a mild maximum of 16 degrees Celsius, so keep those layers handy. Now, we love hearing from all of our viewers, whether you're in South Africa or abroad, so please do continue to keep us updated of any extreme weather experience outside of our borders. And for our locals, please keep those fantastic sunrise photos coming through, and that is on the Expresso Facebook page. Let's get into those temperatures. If you're in Polokwane, expect a sunny day with a low of 5, a high of 19. Mbombela 9 with a high of 26. Sunny conditions in Pretoria, 319. Johannesburg 4, reaching a high of 16. Mahikeng 2, reaching a high of 20. Klerksdorp 1 with a high of 24 today. Sunny conditions in Kimberley, 3 is your low, 20 your high. Bloemfontein -2 to a high of 18. Richards Bay 11 to 25. Pietermaritzburg 6, reaching a high of 25. Durban 13, 23. Mthatha 4 with a high of 23. East London partly cloudy, a low of 12, a high of 20. Cradock 3, reaching a high of 23. Gqeberha 9, reaching a high of 17. If you're in George, expect a low of 8, a high of 14. Cape Town 12, reaching a high of 16 for today. Rain can be expected in Worcester with a high of 17. Sutherland 1, reaching a cool 10 as a high for today. And sunny conditions in Uppington, a low of 4, a high of 24 degrees Celsius. That's where I leave your weather for now. A final update coming your way shortly after 8.
Thanks, Zoe. So we have some fantastic performers coming into the show, but this one has been on the show so often, I don't even know why she's not on the payroll, honestly. So she's a singer and a songwriter. Her name is Lana Crafter, and her life, it began sort of her musical life, I should say, at around age 2, where she was overachieving already. Then, at the age of 6, she decided to overachieve even more, and just went then they pushed it to matric. Anyway, her career has only been on the up and up since, and she actually performed a solo on Expresso back in 2016, thus the payroll. So we're going to catch up with her once again before we are blown away by 3 breathtaking performances throughout the morning. By the way, she actually wrote breathtaking down in the intro herself. You know that? It's just, I'm just letting you know. She's just amazing. She's humble. She's really humble. Please make some noise for Lana Crafter! Yes!
Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you so much. What do you want to ask us?
Look, before we get into the magic, before we get down to business, let's just set the tone and let's take a sneak peek at her music video for her latest single, Fake, which is being shown right now exclusively on Expresso for the first time. Exclusive. Enjoy.
Smiling sweetly, stand up first to greet me. Isn't she lovely? I see it clearly, wishing she could be me. How sweet the fantasy.
Just did you feel that? I just think that if you use one of those old phones in a music video, you know the music video is going to be great, eh?
Yeah.
You know those
yes!
He doesn't know the grrrr.
What do you mean?
He does the This man,
Let me see your
he is 41 years old.
And if you give me a card, then I know you don't know about that phone.
Must be green, you say.
This is what happens when you intermittent fast. You start looking 10 years younger, okay? Don't let it fool you. But welcome, man.
Thank you for having me again, Carl.
And might I add, since 2016 on the show, you've also stolen some fountains of youth. You're also looking a little bit closer to 12 than you are anything else. But how are you doing?
I'm so good. I'm so good, you know. hanging on, sticking in there.
Hanging on, sticking in there.
On,
What do you mean?
How in South Africa, shout out.
I disagree with you. You're not hanging in there. You've been doing this for life. Since the age of 2, you literally were expressing yourself and your voice.
Yeah.
And I mean, you knew you were a singer then, but this is a question I have for all these singers. When you even take the decision to step it up a level further and then go and study.
Yeah.
You did this at UCT. You went and studied performance art and music on top of that. Was that something that added to your career, or did you already know, now I've got this? This is just to please my parents, show them I've got a piece of paper, and now I can go do my thing.
It was definitely to please the parents and get the piece of paper because you know.
Yeah, I know.
Because you know. But no, it was absolutely like, it was just a calling, and I'm somebody who believes that you never stop learning, especially as a musician. There's so much to learn, and it's constantly evolving. It's an evolving art form. So for me, having the privilege and being lucky enough to go study music was amazing. You literally get, besides for your academics, you literally get 4, 5, 6, 7 hours a day of like practicing, you know, of honing your craft. And you know what they say, 10,000 hours to greatness.
Yes.
So I've clocked in twice already.
2 times the master.
Excuse me. But I mean, that's why you are a music educator, and that's the thing about Lana, is that, you know, you have that aura about you where you have a message. You always have a message.
Yeah.
And I know that your message is very clear. I mean, you started the Lady Day Big Band in 2018. And the great thing about it is that you have this passion about making sure that you know, females have a very, very strong and equal place within an industry that often is skewed towards one side. I mean, you see this all the time when it comes to payments for gigs. Let's think about that. There's the male act that gets X amount, and the female act, oh, you must a support act.
And more.
That's it, and much more. So why is this so important to you?
Oh, because, man, equality is my #1 thing. And as a woman musician, I've experienced so much prejudice and so much hardship over the years. And the thing about it is there's so few of us doing it in a professional space that we don't know that we're all experiencing the same hardship. So that's why in 2018, in light of the whole Me Too movement, I got together with a bunch of my female colleagues, and we spoke about our experiences, and I was just so shook that so many women doing what they love couldn't do it comfortably and didn't feel safe in what they were doing. And I was like, you know what? Let's do a thing. Let's do something big. I've always wanted to have my own big band. I called a couple of my colleagues up and I was like, listen, I want to do this thing. Are you in? They were all in. And we've been going strong ever since. 2018 we started. 2019 we played Cape Town International Jazz Festival. Later this year we're releasing our album. You can see our music video playing now. And shout out to Amanda Tiffin, who she's the conductor in the band. She always believes in my crazy ideas. Everybody needs a great mentor, and she pushed me to do this thing, and now we're just doing amazing things and just leaving a dope legacy and having young girls see that, you know, when you're a girl and you want to play an instrument, it's not just singing and piano for you. You can play guitar, you can play bass, you can play drums, you can do whatever you want to do. There's a space for you.
Oh, wow. Well, I feel like I could just sit here for hours because I want to eat this energy up. I need to be fed
someone
by
bring me
all.
tea.
Yeah, just lay there so long. That's fine.
But I mean, like you said, there's been so many incredible things you've done throughout the years already since we last saw you in 2016. You've got those 3 new songs that you're going to be performing for us right here on the show, Mzansi, as well. You've been awarded such incredible things, the top 200 in Mail and Guardian for performers.
Wow.
The list goes on for you, and I think we're going to just have to take another chance at getting to chat to you some more, finding out more about Laura, of course, guys. So don't go anywhere. We've got performances. We're going to find out more about the superstar and so much more magic coming right at you. Don't go anywhere.
She's humble.
Nourish your skin with Ingram's Moisture Plus, enriched with triple glycerine. For 48-hour intensive moisture. Ingram's, your skin, your brave.
How do you
Hello?
pronounce that first movie?
Come on, you know Kipchoge.
Kipchoge.
Remember?
Yes,
remember the marathon runner, Eliud Kipchoge.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. This is Expresso on S3, and we're back with somebody I haven't chatted to personally for ages. JP Sebastian, welcome, my friend.
Hello, thank you for having me, Carl. It's good to see you again.
Yes, we haven't done this movie thing for ages, and I mean, I'm a passionate movie person. You are just a movie legend, so I think it's important for us to track through as many as we can. And the first movie that we have to uncover today is Kipchoge. And if I look at the, if I look at the beautiful sort of the cover of it, it just looks absolutely incredible. Tell me a bit more about the story. And I mean, this is somebody that we know, somebody who has gone through so many things in his life to ensure that those milestones and records were reached. Talk to me about this beautiful movie.
So I don't have to jog your memory at all. We must remember it was it Rio de Janeiro in 2016 Olympics, where you, me, and the rest of the world for like a day, we all became Kenyan.
Yes.
And our minds were blown by Eliud Kipchoge. It was the same feeling, remember, when Usain Bolt was running, that all of us were Jamaican. Because we knew that this human was achieving something for our species, for our, us, and representative as a planet, not just for his country. And of course for his country too. I'm not going to take glory away from that shape. So Kipchoge, which is subtitled The Last Milestone, directed there by Jake Scott. You can see Jake Scott, by the way, is the son of Ridley Scott. That's a name we'll get into later. You must know Ridley Scott. But all of that aside, the most important man, the man of the hour, is Eliud Kipchoge. And what the documentary is specifically about is not just a biography, a biopic of his life, but a specific race that he ran experimentally in 2019. I don't think a lot of us necessarily, sort of touched home for us the way the Olympics does. It's broad based. I mean, right now, all of us are being armchair professionals about that. Everyone knows everything about marathon running. This specific race was to test, can humankind break the 2-hour mark on a marathon? So that's 42 kilometers in 2 hours. That's from where you are, Carl, running to Melkbosstrand. Now, sorry, I've lived under a rock. I've only lived in Cape Town my whole life, so I can only give you Cape Townian comparisons.
Perfect reference.
But from the waterfront to Simonstown, 2 hours. And this is what the documentary is about, the training to get to that possibility. 5 marathons per week, 220 kilometers per week he ran. Insane. I mean, you can obviously guess how it ends up, but I wouldn't spoil it for you. There's no date for it in SA just yet, but probably this kind of thing comes to a streaming service, hopefully some sort of festival. I know that they have sports movie festivals now and then, even in South Africa. Kipchoge, The Last Milestone, looks super inspirational, even though I try not to go into for the schmaltzy things myself. It really did stir me as well. So in the spirit of the Olympics, an amazing documentary about one of the most amazing human beings to have ever lived. Fastest man. Carl, 20 kilometers per hour. For 2 hours straight.
Dude, I struggle to do like 5Ks in an hour. So 20Ks is unbelievable to me. So this is that's amazing. And I think it's something that we actually all have to look at. And I think with the Olympics on now, we all know about the type of training they go through, but do we actually know? And I think that's going to be a movie that will reveal all the behind-the-scenes stuff with regard to Kipchoge. So let's jump into the next movie, which is Bring Your Own Brigade. This sounds like a fire movie, somehow.
So well done. You probably got at least the mathematics. Which would be better than not mocking you. So Bring Your Own Brigade. We have right now on planet Earth that we know of, at least in the news.
Yeah.
There are fires in Oregon right now. There are fires in Siberia. The Siberian fire, which is close to Yakutsk, this is the coldest city in the world, has burnt 3 Cape Towns, the size of the fire. So more than ever, the documentary is about the people who have to suffer that. Look at that shot, by the way. Good grief, there's just a wall. And that's so sad as well. People don't know where they're driving in these things. Sorry, this kind of thing is like really just like emotional for anyone to watch.
Yeah, it is.
This specifically was a documentarian who embedded herself, 2-time Oscar winner that she is, Oscar nominee, with firefighters of the Paradise and Campfires. That was 2018. And so it's not just one of these, emotional stories about How did they fight it? Who are these heroes behind it? You know, we always want to do the clap and throw thoughts and prayers for these bibs, but they cry too, and they lose colleagues, and they have to they're like tactic, and they have to strategize how to fight these gigantic, horrifying monsters. So it's not just the emotional stuff at the front of it all, but also digs into, as you can see, their community hall meetings. Like, how is this happening? Can we talk about climate change as an accelerant of global fires? Can we talk about giving land back to indigenous people, the original custodians, who, like, now we're only realizing, like, 100 years ago they knew exactly what they were doing when they were doing controlled burns. Those are the original professionals of fire. Those are the brigades we should be having. Questions about privatization versus, like, universal care of nature and people, irrespective of your class, of your wealth, but also just the story about the physicality and the bravery and the tears that are shed by the heroes who put out these horrifying events that even today, even now as we speak, they are fighting in record-breaking fires across the world. So no date for that in the SA just yet, but Bring Your Own Brigade, obviously super relevant in the scariest way.
Absolutely. JP, thank you so much. I love the theme of heroes. You've got Kipchoge, The Last Milestone, one of them, and then, of course, Bring Your Own Brigade. Two phenomenal movies. You can't wait for them to come out. Also, a little later, you will be getting into some of the latest trailers, and one of them I'm very excited about, called Dune. So that's later. Thanks a lot, JP. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso. It's time to get fit.
It is indeed time to get fit now. Well, inspiration obviously has come from JP Sebastian and Carl Wasty, and we're talking about that movie, and we're bringing our own brigade of exercises today, and we've got two segments. Zoe and I are going to take you guys through, and of course, once again, you can use any equipment that you wish. We're starting off with the upper body, and this is going to be a fun one, and of course, with every firefighter out there, there involves a lot of strength and requirement when it comes to saving a life and being life-saving ready, number one. But number two, you also need to carry a lot of weight. You've got lots of obstacles in the way. You're pulling, you're pushing, you're doing all sorts of movements, and that's what we're getting in condition for today. And if you, Mzansi, are starting off with your fitness journey, don't worry, you can also do these exercises too. So let's have some fun with it. I've got a kettlebell here, and you're wondering why I'm chilling with a towel. Or
I'm wondering.
It's a dishcloth, actually. Shh, don't tell Mom. But you guys can use any equipment hack that you wish, and that's what we're doing in the kitchen, well, in the studio today. It could be the kitchen. It doesn't matter where you are at home. But just to show you the ease of how easy it is to actually work out, you don't need equipment. Again, if you want to simulate this exercise and you don't have a kettlebell, you could literally put something heavy in your towel, like some books or anything else, wrap it around in there, and you'll be able to do the exact same exercise. Okay. So, starting with our first exercise, it's functional. A lot of the time, firefighters are always pulling things. They need a lot of upper body strength. This is also going to help with the biceps as well as the back. So, we're going to take our towel and wring it through the handle of the kettlebell. Again, if you don't have a kettlebell, you can wrap a dumbbell in the towel or anything else that has some weight. Then we're going to have a nice neutral spine while resting our chest straight over the kettlebell, all the weight. Now, the main aim is to keep a good solid foundation. As a firefighter lifting somebody up, you want to be solid and strong.
And you want to work from the legs, not put pressure on the back.
Brilliant stuff, Zoe. And anybody else picking items up at home, again, use your legs and not your arms. Now, the best part of this movement is I've got my ditches of my elbows facing forward, all right? Step number one. I'm going to bring the weight all the way through and towards my chest, as tight and as high up as I can. You'll see the towel start to separate. Now, pull away from it and then slowly lower it back down. Now, you should feel some stimulation on the shoulders, number one, on those biceps, number two, as well as the upper back. And you can see the tempo that Zoe and I are going right now. This is nice and slow. This is good control, and this is incorporating a lot of strength into the exercise. 10 reps in total, 4 sets each, and this will get your first exercise done. How are you feeling over there?
Feeling good, feeling warmed up.
Yeah, nice stability there, Zoe. I love the fact that you've got a good, strong foundation. You can drop the towel for now. You don't necessarily need this, but again, if you don't have a kettlebell, keep the towel, because that's going to be your weight for this workout. Now, keep the weight in your hand. Again, if it's not the weight, it's the towel. We're going to start off with the following, all right? You have your shoulders, well, you have your hands next to, well, underneath your shoulders, nice and stacked. And then I'm going to let you start off with a basic bicep curl, all right? So keep the ditches of the elbow facing in front of you. Bring that weight all the way up and then all the way back down. Now, at the same time, remember, firemen carry a lot of weight, so we can incorporate the obliques to make sure that we're not always lopsided, but we also have the control and stability. So once we're done with that curl, we're going to literally, I'll do the sake of making the exercise harder. Zoe's going to do an easier version where she keeps her hand down. But if you want to make it harder, put your hand behind your head and you're lifting that weight all the way to the side and then dropping it straight back down. Low as you can, low, low, low. You get a big stretch in that oblique, that's those Levi lines, and then standing straight back up, and then we're going for another bicep curl. All right, how are you feeling over there?
I got the movement a bit wrong. I thought you had to curl and tip.
No, okay, so it's a big curl, so watch it again, curl, arm goes straight back down, and then we're gonna do the little twist, and then bring it back up. There we go. So again, 10 reps on each side for you, Mzansi, and then you wanna make sure that you're doing both sides of the body, and you will feel a good stretch on the opposite side of that weight, and that's a good thing. That means we're working those Levi muscles, those obliques over there that stick out of the body as well. A brilliant exercise for you. And to finish it off, we've got the upper body to sort things out. So you can put that kettlebell on the floor or the weight or anything else that can just protrude out of the ground. And we're gonna use this as a staggered push-up method. So starting on the left-hand side or the right-hand side, we're going for both sides again in total. It's simply first starting off with a push-up. So we're pushing down to the weight, all the way back up. Use your core, engage it. Now you wanna lift that weight all the way, high pull. Ooh, Zoe's going the extra mile and getting it all the way in the sky.
I went all the way up.
You can
I
do
do
that if
have
you
a
want.
lighter kettlebell.
And then straight back into a push-up. So you're gonna stay on the same side again. You'll see the intensity is not too hectic, but we're working on our strength, our core stability, and of course control. You wanna be in control when you've got your fire brigade behind you and you're trying to save a life. You need to be composite, you need to be conditioned, and of course you need to have lots of composure. And that's what we're doing right
That
here.
was a good upper workout.
Yeah,
but
I'm feeling the sweat, eh?
I am feeling it now. I know we focus on the upper body, but I know that to be a firefighter, you need to focus on the whole body.
100%. So that's the upper body ticked. And if you, Mzansi, don't go anywhere, because later on we've got another round and we're working on that lower body, getting you firefighter condition. And if you're just starting your journey, then come join us. You're going to love this one.
It's my feel-good breakfast show. Made with love by Clover.
Follow that happy little tune all the way to your TV. We promised you your just desserts this morning, and that's exactly what we're going to give you, since we're all about putting out fires this morning. We're about to turn the heat up just a little bit with our next recipe. It's something that you should know. Hopefully you've tried it before. If not, we're about to blow your mind. Whether you're lighting up the fire indoors or outdoors, s'mores will always go down a treat. But if a quicker version is just up your alley, then this is the recipe for you this morning. Perfect to serve with a delicious Clover Bliss medium cream chocolate dairy dessert. You can take the s'more, you can dunk it, you can put it on top, you can put it inside. The choice is yours. Chummy, chummy, chummy.
Yeah. I mean,
you've got like the tiger's eye for this recipe. There's something special about this.
I just wanted to show off, because Ryle is a fitness fanatic.
Yeah.
I wanted to show him a different kind of workout, right? So
Oh,
all you
completely.
need is to make sure your forearms are ready.
We
working
did
the
our
upper body,
stretches
right?
beforehand.
We did. So I mean,
squats. I'm ready for this.
I mean, let's do this. So all you need.
Beautiful.
Make sure you lift your biscuit base as gently as possible.
Okay.
Make
Engage
sure
the core. You engage the core.
core. It's very important to engage the core. Can I ask you to
Perfect.
pass us the tray there?
Okay, so hang on. And remember, when lifting the kitchen tray, lift from the legs.
Correct.
The base and your core. Keep that spine nicely locked down.
I love the fact that you are on the same point. So you make sure you lift with your core. And then when you place, because we've got a kind of different procedure here, we're going to be using chocolate plus chocolate on chocolate.
Over chocolate.
Correct.
In chocolate. You can even pour some chocolate over yourself when you do this.
It's completely up to you. So
it's
ensure,
about that vibe. Okay.
Once you've engaged the core, you need to make sure that you stretch all the way in.
Okay. My foundation training is coming into effect here.
Make sure you engage your, what do you call these triceps, biceps, all those steps?
All of them, all of them.
All of them. Engage, place, in the center. You got this.
Boom.
You are the man.
I feel like I almost messed it up.
No, you didn't. You didn't.
No, these are unmessable.
Yes.
That's the term, okay?
The whole idea is for them to be messy.
What makes a s'more? So s'more is, what is at the core of a s'more?
Oh,
what would you?
You should also turn into a rapper. What makes a s'more? It's all about that marshmallow. It's the marshmallow and the chocolate and the biscuit. So you could use choc chip cookies. You could use any type of chocolate biscuit that is thick enough to hold all of that gooiness.
Giant, crunchy, like that big.
And that requires a lot of upper arm strength because you need to make sure when you go in there, you use all of your energy.
And laser-like focus. Okay, the shrimp, because you need the marshmallows to ensure that it's going to stick together.
Yes.
Yeah?
So the chocolate is basically what holds it together. The marshmallow is what makes it a s'more. The nuts, in our case, is what gives it that texture. And, I mean, our clover medium cream dessert is what makes it the best.
It just makes it a little bit ridiculous. And on that note, the Clover Bliss medium cream chocolate dairy dessert is ridiculously good. It's ready to eat. It's a chocolate dairy dessert, obviously, but you don't have to do anything to it. You can literally take this, pour it into a glass, and eat it. That's what I love. Whether you're using it as a sauce, whether you're dipping into it, or using it as an additive to another recipe, it's got so many uses. No whipping, no cooking, no baking, no fuss. Just ready to eat indulgence, and you can use it, as I said, as an ingredient, or you can use it as a sauce. And look what you've just produced.
And now
that was magic of TV.
Power is in the force, right? Because now you have to smash it down.
The force is strong with this one. Okay, so now we're doing a press movement, so we're engaging the tricep.
Exactly. Press it down, and this is where your
and you've got to s'more it out. Oh my word. And it's satisfying.
Exactly.
Eh?
Can you feel that was a workout?
Can I do one more? Can I do one more?
Please, please. Show the masses how it's done. There we go.
Press.
That's my workout, Ryle. I mean, if you're going to be showing off, this is my workout.
Completely.
And there we go. And
now you're just going to be. Now you're just going to be crazy. Now you can just be crazy. This is something incredibly fun that you can do with your little ones. In fact, I'm going to actually make some this weekend. It's nice for a braai. It's nice for a cold winter's night. If you're going to do a movie night, this is how you finish it off. Oh my word! And then I'd let that kind of just set a little bit so it's not too squelchy, but nice and gooey. So I'm going to get my cardio, make my way right across to the end. Oh, these look spectacular.
Juan, I think you'd also want to try. Do you want to come over?
Absolutely.
Let us know what you think. You can twist it, you can
I wasn't
dunk
ready
it.
to show. Okay, so but
I don't want to share though.
No, what you've got to do is you've got to dip. Clover Bliss. Exactly. I know.
There goes my diet.
I'll let you. You can have the dip because we don't get to double dip in studio. So see, this is how much I love and appreciate you.
Are we going to do it together?
Okay, let's do it. Go.
Did you hear that crunch? Oh, and if you want to get this recipe, make sure to go to expressoshow.com. And in case you missed all of the steps, since he's got his mouth full, please check out this recap.
Oh my God.
Made with love by Clover.
hope that you are ready for the talent that we presented earlier. We chatted to Lana Croster, and the thing is, I'm such a fan. Honestly, she's a powerhouse vocalist, a songwriter, an advocate for female representation in the music industry. I mean, she's just incredible. So we've got 3 performances from her. This is the first one, just to get the taste buds tantalized. It's from her 2020 album called Subconscious, but very consciously, you're going to love it. It's called Undefined. Here's Lana.
Good morning, Mzansi. I want to introduce my boy right